All right, morning everyone. Welcome to another episode of Trading Bitcoin with your host Tone Vays. I can never get this HD camera to work outdoors in the daylight. It really sucks. So I'm like resorted to using like the shitty laptop camera, but I guess it's a little bit better. Not that anybody really wants to look at me anyway, but let's just go on with the price. Get the laptop out of the light here. Let's see how long we can keep this going. And I am finally in Los Angeles after spending about 4 nights in Ojai, which was a lot of fun. And outdoors by the pool, everything is pretty much closed, but it's all good. Get to relax a little bit. Today is Friday, September 4th, one day before the holiday. Let me pull out your live chat as people are coming in. And we will get this show on the road. Because of one monitor, I can't really keep an eye on your live chat and do charts at the same time. So we're gonna do some charts, and then I'm gonna take a look at your Q&A. If any of the moderators want to pull in questions into our Telegram group, that would help me out a lot, especially today, because like I said, I only have one monitor. 8K looking more likely. It's looking more likely, but 8K is still not crazy likely. I know now that everyone knows I'm in LA, people are like DMing me to meet up. I'm trying, guys. I gotta start going to places and staying there like weeks or a month so that I can actually meet everyone. Okay, let's go to the charts. Enough chit chat. Nope, not there. Here. Man, I'm starting to drink coffee again. Normally not a coffee drinker. All right, this is the, what is this? The daily chart. Let's talk about the daily chart. Might as well, since that's what just opened first. So the daily chart, the oscillators are not good. The MACD has probably called this the best. So the MACD was the first one, well, maybe the RSI. The RSI, no, see, the RSI was like flip-flopping here. So the RSI was tricky to use, but the MACD did not waver. The MACD crossed right here on August 11th, so almost a month ago. And the MACD basically said, get out of your long position and you potentially get into a short position. Now, sure, I mentioned the MACD at the time, or around this time, but the MACD is never my primary guide to enter or exit trades. But in hindsight, it's probably the best call out of any oscillator, because if we go to August 11th, that was right here. That's the August 11th candle. Sure, we went a little bit higher, but look at the massive divergence that the MACD shows you. Price goes higher, the MACD is ignoring it. And right now, the MACD is in a bad place. So no light at the end of the tunnel yet, according to the MACD. Now, there is a light at the end of the tunnel with the BitMEX funding rate. Look how skewed it went towards the bull side by dropping so far below zero. So that probably means that at least short term, this crash is over, but it doesn't mean that we can't go below 10,000 next week. Now, the weekends tend to be pretty good for the price of Bitcoin. That's what I've been noticing. I haven't done any statistics on it. Somebody can easily do the math and look at the charts and prove me wrong. But for several months now, I've been noticing Bitcoin pumping into the weekend and maybe dropping a little bit at like Sunday, Monday. So the big drop coming in at the end of the week, is likely that the weekend won't be so bad. I think the 10,000 bounce will hold us there for a little bit. I'm not expecting us to crash much below 10,000 this weekend, but don't rule out lower prices. I think it's still pretty likely that we go into the 9,000 range. Is 8 or 7,000 likely? I'm still not buying that. I still think that, well, the CMF went negative, so I'll point that out. If we zoom this out, and the weekly chart will do a better job. We perfectly backtested this area right here. That is exactly $10,000. And this is exactly $10,000. So that's a beautiful pullback. And I can certainly see prices rising from here. Especially when Forbes is coming out with the article saying below 10,000, Bitcoin is destroyed. So the weekly chart is the one that's giving me pause. Now, it's nice that we pulled back to right here and here. It's a very nice area. But there is a nicer area over at 9,000. It's just a little bit nicer and a little bit cleaner. Let's just say while I am buying this dip on GBTC, I will literally buy this dip, like everything right here. This is because I got out. Remember, I exited my GBTC long trade around here somewhere. I exited at least 10% higher on the price, because I see what the price of GBTC is. The price of GBTC today was between 11 and 11.50 the entire morning, and I got out of GBTC around 12.50. So that's like, and I had to wait for like a month, but eventually I got my lower price. I did not rush in. I did not buy the top, but I do want to buy this dip. So I am looking to pick up more Bitcoin in my retirement fund. I picked up a little bit this morning, but I really want to pick it up here. Will I get the chance? I don't know. But I am picking it up anywhere between this 10,200 and 9,000 range. This is where my dip buying is taking place. Hopefully, I can buy in some more because what I got was very, very little. If not, I will be a big time buyer at 12,000. That is something I really want to talk about. Okay, so let's go to the short-term time frame. Right here, notice these arrows. I was talking about my two levels on a short-term basis, the 11.4 and the 11. Those were my very critical areas. And below this one, I expected a move to that one. And below that one, I expected a move down to 10,000. So you can see how these arrows pointed to the price reasonably well. The question is, what happens now? Now, I think we can rally over the weekend back to 11,000. But 11,000 is going to be a very tough nut to crack. Let's put it that way. Now that we have crushed through 11 and made it all the way down to 10, it makes this very tough resistance. And if we get rejected by 11,000, I have to hold the shift key. If we get rejected, anyway, that's good enough. If we get rejected by 11,000, so if I take another arrow and I stick it here, and then I take another arrow, then the 9,000 is a very good possibility into mid-September. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this arrow green. Where am I? There they are. But here's the good news. If we can break above 11, there will still be one more hurdle there. Drawing with a laptop, no mouse. This is not fun. Oops. Okay, hold on. Nope, that didn't work either. Okay, new plan. This, and that. There we go. And every time I take that off, okay, so what do I take off first? I take off that one first. There you go. And now, the good news is that this will happen. Now, which path is it going to take? I have absolutely no idea. All I can tell you is right now, I'm short-term bullish. And this is slightly more likely. So the way I normally handle this is I make this arrow thinner. How do I make it thinner? There. So that arrow is thinner. But then if we do make it to here, then that becomes the likely path. And then I can take the little arrow. Maybe it'll, take a few bounces here and there, but okay. So this is what I'm looking at. All right. Should I take a look at the live chat now or in a bit? I want to take a look at the stock market, actually. Let me glance at the live chat. I want to look at the live chat. And I think someone sent me some questions in our group. All right. Thanks, Bernoulli. What do you got for me? What situations in market might make you bear again, or let's say revisit 4.5 thousand? I can't see that happening, guys. I just can't see it. I'm sorry. I am now a full bull. I don't see it. I don't see 4.5K. I mean, I'm sorry if you didn't get to buy the big dip, but I mean, at this point, prices below 7,000 are very, very, very unlikely. I mean, I can think of some catastrophic scenarios, but like, I don't know, other than some major flaw in the Bitcoin code, some serious crackdown on miners, I don't know, a serious blow to Bitcoin nodes. Like, if you guys watch my presentation, from BitBlock Boom in Texas, I talked about Bitcoin's 3 levels of decentralization. It's mining, it's code building, and the third one is running a node. Unless one of those 3 elements is severely disrupted, and I mean severely disrupted, I can't see sub $3,000 prices based on natural supply and demand. I don't see it. I just don't see it. So what the crash that we saw in March was actually based on natural supply and demand. There was no disruption to mining. There was, I should probably stop screen share right now. Wait, where do I do that? Oh, crap. Okay, here we go. Right. So the question is, because I want to cut this into a 2-minute video. The question is, what can cause me to be a bear again and expect sub $5,000 prices? And my answer is almost nothing. So in the presentation that I did in Texas, I talked about the 3 elements of decentralization: coding, mining, and node, running a node. Unless one of those 3 parts is severely disrupted, whether by natural catastrophes or by major government crackdowns, and it has to be more than one government. It has to be like, either, well, China can crack down on all its mining, and that could be a disruption. If the US cracks down on mining, not a big deal. But if the US cracks down on nodes, that's a big deal, because there's not that many nodes in China. A lot of nodes in Europe. So if the European Union, not a single country, but European Union cracks down on nodes, that's a serious disruption. Or something happens with core code, either a very critical bug, or I don't know, something with core development. Blockstream and Chain Code Labs get shut down at the same time, and people get arrested or something for coding cryptography. So unless there is one of these serious disruptions, I just don't see natural market forces dropping the price of Bitcoin below 5,000. 7,000 is as low as I can envision it due to natural market forces. Now, keep in mind, the drop to 3,800 earlier this year was due to natural market forces. There was no critical disruption. There was no EMP knocking out electricity. There was no minor crackdown. There was no serious blow to the Bitcoin network. It was natural market forces. You can scream conspiracy theory all you like, but I don't care. The drop to 3,100 a year and a half ago was also due to natural market forces. I can see a natural market forces drop down to 7K, but that's about it. That's my ultimate low due to natural market forces. So 5,000, very unlikely. All right, that was a good question, actually. All right, let me, any other good questions, guys? When will Bitcoin decouple from the S&P? Oh, that might take a while. I think Bitcoin will continue to be somewhat correlated with the S&P, mostly because they're both private assets, and the same driving forces that drive people into speculative stocks, the same forces are driving people into basically the same forces that are driving people into Bitcoin. It's your money is just safer there. Your money is safer in the stock market the way your money is safer in the Bitcoin market. Now we will see how long that lasts, considering the market was at a new all-time high just last week. Keeping your money in the stock market your entire life was the smart choice versus keeping it in the dollar or keeping it in bonds or keeping it in other things, because the stock market was continuously earning you money. All right, let me look at the live chat, and then we'll go take a look at gold and the stock market charts. Tone, do you think current fall can be a stage in what will be similar to the mid-March situation? That pattern points we can see going as deep as 7,000. Yes, I agree. I can see as deep as 7,000, but I would be happy if it gets back to 7,000. I'd also be happy if I won my bet, which would probably happen if we get to 7,000. Seems like we're in a big symmetrical triangle. I'll have to take a look at that maybe a little bit later. I didn't talk about DeFi. I'm tired of wasting brain cells on DeFi. Can COVID wave 2 push Bitcoin to 4,000? Didn't we just talk about that? I don't think so. I don't think it can. Guys, did you like not hear me? Everything I just said the last 10 minutes? I don't think 5,000 is going to happen. 7,000 is possible, but I wouldn't bet on it. I would, I give it a less than 50% chance that we're going to go down to 7. I give it a slightly greater than 50% chance that we're going to go down to 9, and I'm 50-50 on the 8K. We've talked about Celsius on the Bitcoin news group. I think it's a terrible project with a scam coin in the middle of it. Man, I'm starting to feel bad for Roger Ver again. I shouldn't feel too bad for Roger Ver, but I'm starting to feel like he's got to be seeing some pressure. So B-Trash just hit an all-time low against Bitcoin. That is that's impressive. Like, you create an asset over 3 years ago, and every single year of its existence, it managed to hit a new all-time low. That is gotta be like frustrating. All right, anything else in there? Bali. Okay, so all right, here's the deal on Bali, guys. I'm gonna go back to screen share here. So affiliate codes, please support. I need to add one in here. Been talking to another company and they seem legit. It's always a challenge. Hey guys, we're pretty sure that these are going to be the dates for the next Unconfiscatable. So in April, we still have to update these things. So April, the week before, Bitcoin 2021 in LA. So this way people can come out to Vegas for the weekend, you know, spend a few extra days in Vegas and then head out to the beach in LA. And then if they want to stay for the other conference in LA, which is thousands of people, Unconfiscatable has a maximum capacity of 400 people. So once it sells out, it sells out. There's nothing we can do. So we're going to try to get all of our speakers back. Trace Mayer has been missing in action. I will do my best to see if he wants to come back. A little bit of a hostile environment this time for him, but we'll do our best. And let's talk about Bali. Conferences, financial summit. I'm not going to talk about it too much. I know you want me to get to the charts. Because I'm tired of canceling conferences and doing refunds and dealing with venues, and I'm not even the one that's doing it. Amazing people that work with me are doing it. We are just moving Bali to November of 2021. But, and here's a big but, because that's a year and 3 months away, and I really want to go on vacation with some Bitcoiners, some traders, some Bitcoiners. We are investigating the possibility of doing a mini financial summit in either Mexico or somewhere else in the American time zone, sometime between February and June. I don't want it too close to Unconfiscatable because I won't be able to give it enough attention. So it would either have to be in February or it would have to be in late May, June. I don't really want to go to a hot place in May, June, because most of the world is in the summertime, except Australia, but they're not going to be coming. And because we have so many people coming to Bali from the US time zone, and getting to Bali is such a pain in the ass, and a lot of those people are dying to get away, we are investigating Mexico, because Mexico seems to be the most, there's only 2 countries in the world that are reasonable when it comes to tourism. One of them is Mexico and the other one is Turkey. Those are the only 2 countries in the world that are, by the Tone Vays definition, of normal, and everyone else is I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist. I don't know what their plan is, but they're not saving people. All right, let's get back to the charts. Gold. This is not looking good for gold. That is a very critical line in the sand. We have now made a 3rd lower daily high, and we are making this ridiculous descending triangle, and the target from this triangle is 160 points. Right to the blue line. Wow, look at that. How about that? Look at that. Look at that. Perfect. So that's your target. That is a perfect target. That is a beautiful buy the dip on gold. So that is my target. 1,765 US dollars per 1 ounce of gold. I am not a gold bull right now. Am I a gold bear? Short term, I still think gold is headed for 3K. But I also think that it's, before it gets to 3K, it is headed for 1750 vicinity. Keep in mind that on oil, I saw it this morning, but for some reason it's not adjusting my chart, that we are at an MRI top on a weekly scale in oil. So if the global economy is about to turn down a little bit, oil, whoa, is that how much oil fell today? What the holy, I did not even know that. Wow. Whoa. Right there with the MRI. And that is, oh, that's a bug. That has to be a bug. That should not be a 3. That should be a 1, and that should be a 2. So something went wrong. When I get back to my workstation, I am going to get serious about getting the MRI released. Where is it? Maybe I'm not using my latest code. That should be a 1, and that should be a 2. When it loads. So I'm not surprised that oil topped this week. Let's go to the, still loading the indicator. It's not a good sign that it's taking so long. Yeah, I'm assuming we have a little notification Telegram chat, so we would have notified on a weekly scale. There it is. No, that's a bug. Wow, that's a bug. All right, I need to take a screenshot. People are upset that I'm doing quality control of indicators on live air, but you know what? If you actually care about this stuff and you want it to work properly, it's the only way to do it. All right, let me hold on a second. Just gonna send that to my dev. Ah, crap. All right, new plan. There he is. All right. All right, done. No idea how that happened. But yeah, here's your weekly top, and boom, down we go. So this is why I like the MRI. S&P, that's a rough 2-day span. I think that is your target. Maybe it's this one, but it's more likely all the way down to here. So I think 3,200 is possible. I think it's hard for the market to go all the way below 3,000. As much as every single small business is going to be out of business, the big boys are doing okay. And there it is on the MRI top, just like with oil, the MRI hits a weekly top and down we go. So yeah, I do need to get this MRI indicator out to the world. If you are using my current TI indicator, you will just be grandfathered into using this. If you don't, you will be able to just buy the new one. And this is the Nasdaq, not Tesla. Everyone is talking about Tesla again. I like this pullback from 500. 300 would be nice. I wouldn't risk it. 330 is probably a nice dip. I would probably stop being an idiot, and I will probably get into some Tesla right here. That is my level. Right, so I mentioned Bali, I mentioned other stuff. Please support with the affiliate page. And also, if you are interested in the indicator, the info is right there. If you want to learn how to trade, here's the educational series from myself and Tyler Jenks, the late Tyler Jenks. All right, any other questions? I'm gonna cut the camera feed and look at your questions. Man, it's nice to travel again. God, I miss it. This is why I got into this. You know, this is why I quit my job, to enjoy life a little bit. All right, let me see. Questions. What stage of hyperwave is the Nasdaq in? Good question. End of September, is Malta still on? No. Oh God, no. Well, Malta is on for September, but not this September. Malta is on for next September. I'm sorry, guys, if that's not clear, because I haven't been promoting Malta at all, but you also couldn't register for it. So let's go back to screen share. Look, it's so hard. Like, you have no idea how many resources, how much time, how much money is being spent on organizing these events and then having to cancel them. Like, these politicians have no idea that there's an entire travel industry, and this is what's so frustrating. It cannot be any more frustrating. There is, understanding BTC. So understanding, if you go to the website, understandingbtc.com, you can see that the date is September 2021, not 2020. So we have like just pushed everything back. We just can't keep organizing these events, spending time, resources, money, and then having to move them and refund people. So this is the frustrating part about the government. They don't understand that there are two industries in the entire world that did not exist 100 years ago, like at all. They didn't exist. There's only two. There's only two industries that did not exist 100 years ago. Every other profession besides these two professions existed 100 years ago, except these two. Who wants to name them? Who wants to name two professions, two industries that did not exist 100 years ago, even 75 years ago? I used to say 50 years ago, but you can make the argument that 50 years ago they already existed, but 100 years ago they did not. I'm waiting, looking at your live chat. Come on, guys. Travel and programming, beautiful. I think Bernoulli has, you're a moderator. You watch too many of my podcasts, man. That's correct. The two industries that never existed 100 years ago were the travel industry and the programming industry. Now, COVID is significantly advancing the programming industry, but it has severely destroyed the travel industry. And travel and coding will be the coding will be the number one profession in the world. Right now, it's transportation. Right now, transportation hires the most number of people. In about 20 to 30 years, programming will be the number one profession. The second will be tourism. It's possible tourism could be the first because it'll employ more people. Because programming jobs will be just higher paid, and lots of tourism jobs are low paid wages. So the tourism industry has been destroyed. And like the latest statistics on how deadly COVID is, do not call for these draconian lockdowns and quarantines. It is insane because there will be a deadlier virus probably in our lifetime, and then they might as well just handcuff everyone to a radiator. So it's just bad. Someone's talking about a porn. Yeah, so the television, the entertainment industry. Well, the entertainment industry existed. The television didn't, but the entertainment industry existed, and porn certainly existed 100 years ago, even 1,000 years ago. You just couldn't watch it unless you were there in person. My cousin's a pilot, and they've been told not to expect improvements within the next 6 years, major pay cuts. Yeah, yeah, I believe it. I believe it. And that's unfortunate. All right, guys. So no understanding Bitcoin this year. I do need to bring the podcast, though. I want to bring the understanding podcast. So maybe I'll do that. But I do want to start traveling again. So as of right now, the conference that, as of right now, Unconfiscatable is going to happen next. And that's not till April. I may do something in Mexico, like a mini financial summit. And because, look, people paid for a financial summit in Dominican Republic for April. And all those people agreed to go to Bali in November. And now we had to move Bali by a year. And a lot of those people took their refund, and rightfully so. So I'm not running a Ponzi scheme here. They got their money back. But some of these people really want to go. And if we put something together in Mexico, they'll probably not take the refund and just agree to go to Mexico in February, and then maybe sign up for Bali again in November. Who knows? I know the price tag is high, but the event is for people that find value out of this $9,000, and we make sure we give them value. All right, back to questions. Not much more I can say about charts. Oh, Nasdaq Hyperwave. Have the flights been full? No, the flights have not been full, and I'm an idiot. Like I am. I bought a business class flight from Dallas, Texas to Santa Barbara, California, and that flight cost me like $600. Meanwhile, like the seat was not that much bigger than the coach seat, which was like $200, and most of that flight was empty. So that was dumb. So Tom Vays is an idiot. Look, I'm not stupid when it comes to COVID. I take reasonable precautions. If I can afford a few extra $100 and give myself extra room on the plane, I will do it. But at the same time, I don't think these masks make that much of a difference. So I don't want to wear that stupid mask. I mean, I take reasonable precautions. So I took the business class flight for 600. In hindsight, that was dumb. My flight out of LA is also a business class flight, but that one was cheaper. It was only $400, and it has a bed, and it's a red-eye flight. I fly out at like midnight, so that's totally worth it. The bed's worth it. But a 3-hour flight from Texas to California for an extra $400 premium during the day, not to have a bed with, you could have had your own row. That was dumb. That was stupid. But I didn't know. Now I know. I haven't flown in 6 months. Am I on screen share? What am I sharing? Let's stop screen share. Like I should be stacking sats. I shouldn't be spending extra $400 on 10% extra comfort. It's just not worth it. All right, hold on. Maybe I have to turn on my brightness or something. Let me grab. All right, I need to. Oh, here we go. I'm in the shade now. You know what the worst part about the quarantine stuff is? The worst part is that society has turned against each other. It's like people are turning on people. And that's the worst part. It's not about being on a flight. It's about, saying hi to the person next to you and they want to punch you in the face for saying hi to them. That is the worst part. And the more confined the environment, the more people are like upset and angry that you're speaking to them. So if you're ever in an elevator and you decide to say hello to someone in the elevator next to you, you run the risk of someone just going ape shit on you. That is the worst part of these quarantines. It's destroying the fabric of society, of people accepting other people. That's the absolute worst part. It's like that video. It's like people are sending that video around of the guy in the UK who's sitting on a train without a mask, and a UK, I guess, law enforcement guy is like fighting with him to kick him off the train, and I think eventually he used pepper spray. But I felt that the worst part about that video, I mean, that guy is doing his job. I know it's bad, and I know that I would never take a job, pushing someone off the train for wearing a mask. I wouldn't stoop myself to that level, but people need jobs. But the worst part about that video is that some other guy on the train is helping that law enforcement officer for that guy not wearing a mask. And that is the destruction of the fabric of society. This is what happened in with like the Stasi in Germany, where everyone was like ratting on each other. And if you ever listen to any presentations of anyone Chinese that's over the age of 60 right now, they will tell you that like their parents, if you ever heard of any presentations by a lady named Lee Schooland, Lee Schooland is great. Her husband also talks about open borders and immigration. I don't necessarily agree with that, but he's a great guy. I get along. We've spoken at many conferences. But Lee Schooland talks about her life growing up in communist China, and her father was a surgeon, and he was thrown in prison because during surgery he made a joke about like one of the like the uh, one of the like the wife of one of the, I don't know, like whoever you call the leader, prime minister or the king or whatever. And the other surgeon in the room ratted him out to the Chinese government for saying that joke to earn favors with the communist regime. That is the worst possible thing. When your neighbors are ratting on neighbors, when your friends are ratting, are snitching on you for something completely silly. And it's one thing if if my neighbor was doing something like dangerous, uh, if my neighbor was, I don't know, if I had evidence or suspicion that my neighbor is like brewing poison in his basement, yeah, I'll snitch on that. But something that's a joke about, let's say, President Trump that can get you arrested, well, it doesn't happen in the US, but in other countries. And that's the worst part, when you are snitching for little things to earn favors with the government. And those favors never work out anyway. And that's the moral fabric destruction of society. And that is what COVID is causing. So you rat on your neighbor for walking around your yard cleaning leaves without a mask, and then the cops show up and arrest you. That is what will destroy your nation and your country. All right, guys. Anything else? Any other good questions? Does coughing and sneezing pop the seal of masks? Wearing a beard and I mean, I don't know, but in Florida there hasn't been a mask mandate. Good, good. I'm in LA, and you can't be in a public space without a mask. Well, you could, but may not end well. The Turkish lira. Haven't looked at the Turkish lira in forever. Oh, the hyperwave of Nasdaq. I never even looked at that. Let me see. Let me go. All right, let's pull up the Nasdaq hyperwave. I wonder if this is my Nasdaq. I wonder if this is my Nasdaq hyperwave chart. Let me go to the weekly, and let me zoom out. This is not my Nasdaq hyperwave chart. So let me see if I can find it. The breeze is nice out here. Yeah, here's the pool. I don't know if, oh wait, am I on screen share? If I'm on screen share, that you can't see it. I'll show you guys the pool after. I'm at a decent hotel. It's nice. What am I doing? Oh yeah, I'm looking for the Nasdaq hyperwave. Load chart layout. Nasdaq. I don't know which one has the hyperwave. This is NDX, and I don't see any trend lines. So I can try pulling up the Nasdaq composite and see if the hyperwave shows up. I think so. I think this is it, guys. Weekly chart. Zoom out. Zoom out. Oh yeah, here it is. Here is the Nasdaq hyperwave. Let's see what we got. So clearly this was not phase 4 because we have gotten above it. So we are still in phase 3. So see, the Nasdaq hyperwave is very challenging. The reason why it's challenging is because if that was a completed hyperwave, then that is your new baseline, but that's a weird baseline. I have a really hard time dealing with the Nasdaq hyperwave. So if all of this was phase 2, then we're in phase 3 and phase 4 hasn't started yet. I have a serious problem with the Nasdaq hyperwave because I can't use 5,000 as phase 1. That makes no sense. And this was a very steep run, which could be considered, we're in phase 4 now. But then phase 1 is still, like, I don't know where phase 1 is. Man, I wish Tyler was alive to talk about this. I may have to talk to the other Tyler. I may have to talk to Tyler Coates. I may have to talk to Leah. We may have to do an entire podcast on the Nasdaq hyperwave because I don't know. I usually come up with bullshit answers for everything, but I don't know. I do not know how to draw the Nasdaq hyperwave right now. I'm completely clueless because I can't picture this being phase 4 because that means there's a high probability of going down to phase 1, and phase 1 is under $1,000, so 1,000 points. So that literally means there's no electricity. That literally means the internet's dead, and I cannot. I can't get myself to admit that the internet's going to die. It's possible we can have a solar EMP. You know, anything can happen. We can have a giant asteroid. We can have a Yellowstone volcano blowing up. Like, anything can happen to just destroy all technology in the world. But I'm not going to let the chart. I'm not going to let a stock chart predict, you know, an asteroid crashing into Earth. So I don't know. Though considering it's 2020, nothing would surprise me. And Turkish lira. Let's go check that out. I may still go to Turkey, since Turkey is the only normal country in the world right now, as far as their treatment of leprosy. Oh, sorry, I mean COVID. And if I have US dollars or Bitcoin, my time in Turkey will be cheaper. So It's not looking good for the lira. It looks like it's going to devalue some more. That is a nasty cup and handle. And it's implying that the Turkish lira will get to around 9. Like it's a monster uptrend. We're on a weekly chart. Should throw a hyperwave on this. And we are, I want to say we're in like maybe phase 3 of hyperwave now. But I don't know how you do hyperwave. Again, I wish Tyler was here. It's hard to do hyperwave on foreign currencies because they just go into hyperinflation against the dollar. So to me, it's still one trend line. And I think the Turkish lira is going to devalue by another 20%. Which is unfortunate because, like I said, I am dying to go to Turkey and help their economy with my US dollars for being normal. Oh, we have a super chat question. Thank you so much. Oh, it's not even a question. Crypto Mash, much appreciated. Thank you so much for the support. Oh, DraftKings. Yeah, I haven't looked at that either. Thank you so much for the support, man. You didn't ask a question. I'll look at DraftKings. Australian currency. Australian currency has been doing fairly well. And so this is the Australian dollar versus the US dollar. So this costs more US dollars. And I think that's over, guys. So there's your weekly top with the MRI. I think last time I looked at the Australian dollar, I said the exact opposite of what I'm saying right now. I said that I was still bullish, but I probably didn't see this. And this tells me that I am now not as bullish on the Australian dollar as I was the last time I looked at it. That is a weekly MRI top. I am now looking for a multi-week correction of the Australian dollar. Let's look at the daily chart. So it looks like the daily chart topped as well. Let's see what the MRI says. MRI is not saying anything, so we go with the weekly. All we have is the weekly. The weekly told us that this is a problem. And down we go. DraftKings. DraftKings is doing well. This is the daily chart of DraftKings. I like it. I think sports is coming back. And once DraftKings breaks this $43 resistance, I think it can definitely go higher. What I totally spaced on was Zoom. The last time I looked at Zoom, it was like $120 stock. And the other day, when someone told me that Zoom is up to 475, I actually didn't believe it, and I had to go and look at the chart. This gap close is really good. I know it's insane to buy Zoom at 300, and I hate Zoom now, but I'm still using it. But man, I remember tweeting out when Zoom was 70 bucks in February on an airplane, saying probably a good time to go long Zoom and short airlines. And this was back in February. Should have followed my own advice, because I was getting on a 12-hour flight. And when I got off the flight, I was dealing with COVID stuff, so I kind of forgot that I even tweeted it out till someone reminded me later. What happened to APA? Isn't that Apache? What happened to Apache? What happened to Apache? Still there. That's weird. That's really weird. I'm like, they couldn't have gone out of business. Hey guys, I can't be on the stream forever. I got to do other stuff. Yeah, SPY did drop through a 20-day moving average. So now I'm thinking 50. And I texted my friend the other day, my old trading partner, who asked me, hey, what do you think? And I said 50 is way more likely on the S&P. And we almost made it to 50. I still think it's likely that the S&P will make it to 50. Just a holiday. Markets are going to be closed on Monday. But September is usually a rough month for the stock market historically. October is usually when things bottom out and start to trend up for the holidays. So I'm still thinking that the market has some more downside here. And it was nice to see it pop with the MRI. All right, guys, that's it for me. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to support, please check out the educational videos or the affiliate page or the indicator, which I was just using, though the MRI is not out yet. But you will have access to it if you purchase the current version of the TI, which converts to MRI eventually. And I'll keep you posted on the conferences. People are dying to see other humans again. It's been really rough. It's been rough. All right. That is it from me. I'll give you a little bit of a view from my rooftop here. I don't know how well you can see it. I have no idea why there's a lifeguard tower on this pool that is incredibly tiny and only goes 4 feet, but oh well. But it's still cool area. I am in Hollywood, LA. All right, bye guys. Thanks for watching.